No, I
It's
said,
been-
no, I didn't say 7 or 8. I said several.
Then you said 7 or 8, and I said
Did I?
9. Yeah.
Nine. Good, thank you.
Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin, where we dive deep into the untold stories behind the biggest legends in entertainment. And today, we're peeling back the curtain on the guests who were banned from Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, The King. Of late-night ruled television for decades, but behind the laughter and charm, Johnny Carson had a strict sense of control over his show and the people who appeared on it. Some guests crossed the line and found themselves quietly blacklisted. Others clashed with Carson's values or rubbed him the wrong way during interviews. Whether it was awkward tension, backstage drama, or personal rivalries, these stars were banned from one of the most powerful platforms in television, and the stories behind it are as fascinating as they are shocking. First up is Rich Little, known as the king of celebrity impressions. Little was a regular guest on The Tonight Show throughout the 70s and early 80s. Beloved for his spot-on impersonations, especially of Johnny Carson himself. At first, Carson seemed amused, but as Little's impression of him began to feel more like mockery than tribute, Carson grew uncomfortable. By 1982, Rich Little stopped receiving invitations, and without any public fallout, his appearances just ended. It wasn't about censorship. It was about Carson drawing a line where imitation started to feel like insult. This moment highlighted how fragile showbiz relationships could be, especially when the humor hits a little too close to home. Then came Joan Rivers, perhaps the most heartbreaking and high-profile rift of them all. Rivers wasn't just a guest. She was Carson's trusted substitute host, often filling in for him during absences. Their bond was built on respect and professional chemistry. But it shattered in 1986 when Rivers accepted an offer from the emerging Fox network to host her own late-night talk show. She didn't inform Carson beforehand, and he saw it as a betrayal. In response, Carson banned her from The Tonight Show and even blacklisted guests who appeared on her show. Rivers' career took a hit, and their relationship never recovered. Despite her legacy as a trailblazing female comedian and host, that one move changed everything. Next, Lola Falana, known as the Queen of Vegas, was a dazzling singer and dancer who lit up stages with her magnetic energy. But her close friendship with Wayne Newton, who had his own issues with Carson, cost her a place on The Tonight Show. In the early 80s, Falana was banned not for anything she did, but for who she associated with. It was a stark reminder of how personal conflicts in the entertainment world can have far-reaching effects. Even if you're just caught in the crossfire, Wayne Newton himself wasn't spared either. Famously known as Mr. Las Vegas, Newton got into a heated rivalry with Carson over business dealings involving Vegas hotel properties. Newton outbid Carson on a property, and Carson took it personally. He began mocking Newton on air, turning jokes into jabs. Newton was hurt and eventually banned from the show. There was no formal announcement, just a silent exclusion that reflected how business and pride could collide in showbiz. Then there were the musicians and entertainers who were reportedly sidelined for less personal, but still powerful reasons. B.O. Diddley, the legendary rock and roll pioneer, reportedly faced backstage issues and creative clashes that led to a quiet ban. His fierce independence didn't align with the show's structure, and that may have led to fewer appearances. Charo, the high-energy Spanish-American entertainer, also found herself on the outs. Her unpredictable and flamboyant style reportedly clashed with Carson's preference for polished control. While her charm lit up many rooms, it may have simply overwhelmed The Tonight Show's format. The Smothers Brothers were another act that clashed with the show's conservative tone. Known for their politically charged comedy and social commentary, they were considered too risky for the Carson era. Their outspoken nature didn't align with The Tonight Show's more middle-of-the-road approach, and they were quietly kept off the guest list. Then there's the fascinating case of Bob Hope, a comedy legend with a vaudeville background and a spotless professional reputation. He appeared frequently on Carson's show, but behind the scenes, Carson was reportedly irritated by Hope's tightly scripted jokes. Carson preferred spontaneity and live energy, while Hope stuck to polished routines, though Hope continued to be welcomed on the show. The relationship was quietly tense, not a ban, but a clash of comedic generations. Now we come to perhaps the most surprising name on the list. Frank Sinatra. Rumors persist that Carson at one point banned Sinatra, or at least distanced him from the show, after Sinatra reportedly made a private comment about Carson's marriage. Carson, famously protective of his personal life, didn't take it lightly. The evidence is thin, and Sinatra did appear on the show multiple times, but insiders suggest there was tension that never fully resolved. This alleged ban reflects how even icons like Sinatra could fall afoul of Carson's personal boundaries. And finally, there are the quieter moments, the unspoken bans that never made headlines. Sylvester Stallone reportedly had one awkward appearance where the chemistry with Carson just didn't click, and he wasn't invited back. Charles Grodin, known for his ironic and sometimes intentionally awkward interviews, may have pushed too far with his dry act, leading Carson to simply stop booking him. These silent partings often spoke louder than words. They show Carson's tight control over his brand, his preference for respect and chemistry, and his unwillingness to compromise the tone he spent decades building. Whether it was a bold move like Joan Rivers starting a rival show, or a subtle slip like an offhand remark from Frank Sinatra, the result could be the same: a quiet but firm removal from The Tonight Show, a platform that could make or break a career. These stories revealed the complexity of late-night TV and the man who reigned over it with wit, authority, and an uncompromising vision. Johnny Carson wasn't just a host. He was a gatekeeper, and behind every laugh, there was a lesson about loyalty, professionalism, and power in the entertainment industry. If you found this dive into Carson's guest bands as fascinating as we did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a peek behind the curtains of Hollywood's most iconic legends.